Engage.
Good.
The
Hello,
curse words
Shoff.
thing I have a funny story about. So
Hello,
Okay.
Shoff. Welcome.
Make it so. Number one, we are back, Dads to the Future. I am Vactor. I'm here with the biggest Clemson fan in the continental United States, Kevin Coll. How are you doing, sir? Kevin, hot Frosty Coll.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm awesome because Clemson is in the first ever 12-team college football playoff. So a return to the CFB, or the CFP, rather, CFP by Dabo Sweeney and the boys. So looking forward to December 20th, 21st, where we're going to get walked off the field most likely by the Texas Longhorns. So, but anyway,
Hey.
it's exciting.
I was born
Can't
in
wait.
Austin. You could have said those words you just said and not corrected yourself, and Shoff and I would not have known that you said the wrong letters.
yeah.
Yes, but there could have been an audience member out there that might know, and then I'd be in
Yes.
trouble. So
Speaking of Shoff to the Future, Mr. Jimmy Shoffman, how are you doing today? The biggest Lego maniac that I know. Shoff, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. It's been a long week, but we're here. We're here doing the dang thing, and I'm very
Yeah.
happy to be here.
Shoff's been up at the North Pole working hard. He's been crafting those gifts. He's been getting ready. He's got a long night ahead of him coming up here in a couple
That's
weeks. But
I'm just a cotton-headed nitty muggins.
You're not a cotton-headed nitty mugger.
I know him. Shoff. Okay. Let's get down to business, boys. If you listen to our last episode of Dads to the Future, our first episode, we ended the episode saying our pursuit of patience in parenting, what we could do to kind of go forth in the week and be better parents. So we all kind of talked about being more patient with our children. And what happened? Shoff, how did your week go?
I failed. No, I'm just kidding. No, I wouldn't say I failed, but I definitely was tested. I was challenged. The girls were, for those who are just joining us, don't know us yet. Last week we introduced our family dynamic. I'm a single dad. I have two daughters, ages 4 and 2.5. And they're in some interesting phases right now. Our 2.5-year-old, her name is Sage, and lately she has been really favoring mama, whereas she was like a daddy's girl. So like it's kind of like a shift in that dynamic, which I'm not a fan of. Because she was supposed to be my person, all right? Like she was supposed to be my little cohort, because my older daughter, Emily, she's always been a mama's girl. So I was like, I needed Sage to be on my side. And now Sage is preferring mama. And that's honestly, like, it's not like I'm doing anything wrong. It's just kids go through phases like that where they prefer one parent over another. And right now she's in that phase where daddy can't do anything right and doesn't like, I can't put her in her car seat. I should not dare try to change a pull-up. I should not dare try to put any clothes on her.
Daddy wasn't there.
Yeah. That couldn't be my father from the truth. It's a dad issue. I mean, dead issue. So it's been a struggle. And it's really tested me in many ways because, you know, I just want to be helpful. And it's really hard when you want to be a helpful person, but your kids won't really let you be a helpful person. So that's really been the challenge for me lately, is like, where do I fit in this equation if neither of my girls really want my help right now? So it's like trying to be patient with that, trying not to take it personally. I feel like my skin has gotten so much thicker by being a dad, but it needs to be even thicker than it is in order to, you know, get through like this phase of life right now. So that's where I'm at. How about you guys?
Kevin, how was your week?
My week was good. I think a lot of craziness happened after our show as we went into the weekend. Friday, I was getting Christmas lights set up outside, as every good dad does, every Clark Griswold wannabe during this time of year. And I was super excited about the setup that that I had done. And so I went outside to show Christian. Well, it's 20 degrees outside. He doesn't have shoes on, so I pick him up. take him out there and I hold him.
Kids
You
in their
know.
shoes.
I know. And I pick him up and hold him so he doesn't have to walk on the grass and his feet cold and all that kind of stuff. And he's like, "Oh, great. These are great, Dad. You did a good job. I love you. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks for putting Christmas lights up." And as I'm holding him and walking him back up the steps, my foot catches the top of the steps. And next thing you know, this 200-pound fat ass known as me is falling on my 5-year-old. And yeah, that didn't go well. The good news is like it was one of those where like your mind and your eyes kind of slow down into that like Spider-Man moment, like in the cafeteria, where he's like, but obviously a 200-pound fat ass doesn't have that kind of reflex anymore. So like all I know is I was like shifting my body around to kind of turn and like get underneath him to like at least cushion the fall. But I was also trying to keep his head from falling backwards and hitting the concrete. So he hit the frame of the door, the back of his head, like whoosh. And then my fat ass rolled on his ankle. And so his foot got kind of underneath me and the ground. And needless to say, we had to go to the emergency room and deal with all that. And so my patience was very much tested in not just him, but the situation, all of it. And it all worked out. He was great during the whole situation. His biggest beef about going to the doctor was he didn't want to get a wristband put on. And we couldn't. My wife and I were like, "What? Why? Like, what's wrong? Why do you need to have a wristband?" So he put it on his Lammy, his little stuffed Lammy. Lammy got to wear the wristband, and he no broken bones, thankfully. Just a rolled up ankle and some swelling and
a bruised ego,
and a new love for his father that he knew he didn't have. So, I think that's really it. The other patience piece is I just got back from being out of town today. I got back yesterday, late last night. So I was out of town for work, and just coming back, and it's like there's a difference between road Kevin and home Kevin. Road Kevin, he's all business, right? He doesn't have distractions. He's focused. He's in the zone. But he comes back and like he's all of a sudden it's like, oh crap, I'm home. I have all these home things and like there's all this stuff going on. So like today I got up, got the kids to school, and I came back and it was like had these contractors here because we had to get a new water heater installed. And then like I couldn't find the cord to my microphone that I needed for my new computer. And that was like, I'm not kidding you, like an hour and a half of me hunting everywhere for this damn cord. And then it was like I had to get to some meetings online. And I was just not focused today. Like today was just an unfocused day. So I wasn't very patient with myself. So then tonight, solo parenting the kids, because my wife said an event, I caught myself yelling a little bit, like raising my voice, just to get them to like listen. And part of it was I let them watch TV. My wife doesn't let them watch TV when she's like doing stuff. She's more active and hands-on, but it was kind of like, I wanted to give them a chance to kind of just chill, enjoy some pizza with Dad and watch some Bluey. And the problem is when they watch TV like that late at night, it like screws with them. And then
overstimulating. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're overstimulated. And then Christian was like, "Oh, Dad, I have homework." I'm like, "Oh, son of a bitch." So it's like
son of homework, a nutcracker.
Yeah. So homework. So I'm now the cotton-headed ninny mugger, ninny mugger, or whatever it is. Anyway,
ninny muggins.
So I'm not going to say that.
You were walking a very fine line.
I was close to saying something that I may have regretted the rest of my life. Anyway, let's not use that word anymore.
Quickest canceled podcast ever.
So we're going to anyway. So I'm that guy, and long story short, it's just lost a little bit of patience as we went into the evening here. But I'm here. I'm happy. The kids are great. Everybody's doing well. It's as they say, it's a work in progress.
Yeah. Well, Hot Frosty, real quick, I got to tell you, you were talking about that Spider-Man cafeteria scene where he catches everything, right? And you're seeing it happen in slow motion. Just so you know, Tobey Maguire needed 156 attempts across a 16-hour day.
Loser.
to get that right. Okay, so you only had one take,
One
and
take.
you did the best you could with it. So we
Well,
salute you.
honestly, it could have been way worse. I mean, his head could have hit the concrete really hard. He would have
Yeah.
like probably had like a really serious like head injury. So I feel like a rolled up ankle that didn't break or tear or whatever, and it just ended up being like a small, a pretty significant bruise situation. Was better than anything that could have happened. So,
Totally,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Vactor, about
Well-
you? Did you fall on your child this week?
I did not. My son was at abuela's house, grandma, for most of the time. So I had a couple of days to myself. And then the other days I was at work most of the time. So I didn't have too much time specifically with him. But the times that I was kind of with him and watching over him, we were having a good time playing PlayStation 5. There's a game called Astrobot that he loves, and I've been kind of slowly introducing him to platformers. Like Astrobot was the gateway drug, and so I show off that last Ratchet and Clank game.
Oh yeah, that's a great
Sackboy
game. Rift Apart, yeah.
Yes. So what was crazy was I was looking at my save file on there, and I finished that game in 2021. I was like, dang, it's been 3 years already since that game, but it feels like just yesterday that game came out. But my son is having a great time playing a lot of platformers. So my video game heart is full when I see him playing games.
Is he
For
how's his
those
hand-eye
listening, by the
coordination?
way, for those listening, by the way, this is the Clemson equivalent to me right now as it relates to I have no clue what Vactor's talking about. That's right.
Yes. Shoff,
You could have said
hand-eye?
anything there, and I'd be like, all right, yeah, cool.
That was a great game.
Well,
Yeah.
the PlayStation 7 that I got in advance. Shoff, you were saying about hand-eye coordination?
Yeah, because your son's a little bit younger than my oldest daughter, and I've tried introducing her to video games. She gets really frustrated because she's not, and which makes perfect sense. Like, why should her brain be picking up on like the control stick / camera movements and all of that stuff that you have to do, because it's like dual joysticks, right? So like it can be hard for a little kid, especially since when we were kids and we were growing up on video games, like we had basic stuff, right? Like we were learning on the NES.
Yes.
And there's not very many buttons on the NES.
Right.
Like these kids are learning on a controller that has so many buttons and so many different ways
there's
you can.
a whole nother dimension. Like we were playing on 2 dimensions.
Exactly.
When we were playing our side-scrolling games.
So like it's so
Now
much
there's
harder
3.
on them if you start there. And so I was curious how his hand-eye coordination is, because I've played Fortnite with him. And it's fun because sometimes I don't know if he's the one playing or if you're the one playing. But I know that if he's not coming to rescue me, it's probably him and not you.
Yes. Yeah, he's actually doing a lot better. And like I said, before Astrobot, it was kind of just all over the place. But for whatever reason, that focused him in. And every game that he's played since, he's kind of used the Astrobot as the one. Oh, this is how I move the camera around. And Fortnite too. He plays a lot of Fortnite also. But I think Astrobot was really the one that in his brain it clicked, and he's gotten so much better after that.
Was there any debate or conversations with Vactor, your wife, or Shoff, your ex-wife, about video games and kids and all that kind of stuff? And the reason I bring that up is because my wife did not grow up with video games. She was a girl household, so didn't have brothers. And that just was not something. I mean, the only time she said she ever played a video game was usually like on lake trips or beach trips where like her parents would have their friends and their friends' kids, and they would bring consoles and play down in the basement or whatever at night, and she would do stuff there. But like, she just didn't do it. Whereas like I grew up with consoles. I still have my NES, my Super NES, my Sega. I stopped playing in the PS4 era, I think, or no, PS3, may have been PS3. I can't even remember now. College Football 15, I think, was the last one I played.
Okay.
So that said, The reason I bring it up is because like I want to get Christian a Nintendo Switch at some point, and because he really likes the Mario games, he sees them all the time and wants to play the Mario games and all that. But my wife is like, not gonna happen, not gonna happen at all. So
yeah,
it's gonna be a tough one.
My wife didn't have any specific reservations. I think because I got my wife into video games. She didn't. I mean, she played with her cousins. She didn't have any brothers around, but she grew up with cousins, boy cousins, and they would have her play Call of Duty or whatever it was. And so she had a like a baseline understanding of games. But then when she met me, it was more like, okay, I'm focusing you. There's a new game coming out, every week or every month, and she's gotten way more into it ever since I came into the picture. And so once Ezra was born, my wife was on the Switch, like she was playing Animal Crossing to pass the time and different things. So I think it's more natural to her now. So she hasn't said anything specifically to me, so I don't think she has any specific reservations about it. But
how long do you let Ezra play? Do you give him like half an hour, or like what's the regulation?
He plays for like 8-hour stints through the night.
Well,
He's
I mean,
just-
so that
he's
the reason I ask these questions is because my wife is like
he's shotgunning monsters. He's
this is what she's terrified about, is like that Christian's just gonna like laser in on it, because like he's a perfectionist personality, and so like we see it with like his coloring or like any of his like crafts or just anything he does. He will repeat the tasks over and over and over until he finds the perfect answer or perfect way of doing it. Like his teachers last year at school were saying that like when he writes his name, he kept doing it. Like he just wanted to keep doing it because he just wanted to get better. And he gets that from me, not necessarily the perfectionist piece, but like I remember playing video games growing up, and it was like I can't stop until I beat this level. Like it was like this committed, like hyper focused thing. Just like the chord this morning that I could not find. It was like I couldn't let this go. You know what I mean? So it's like I think she's worried that that's what's going to happen. Is like you give him a Switch, he's not going to put it down until he's beaten the entire game. And so.
That's definitely a concern. We usually kind of keep it to 30 minutes to an hour, and then we're normally doing something else. Like either we're going out or we're switching. We're doing something. So that's usually around the time. But he's pretty good about. I tell him, "Hey, press pause," or "We're done for now." And I think he also has that kind of personality as well, Kevin, of like he's laser focused in on what he's doing, because sometimes we'll call, hey Ezra, we'll call him and he won't hear us, and it's like he's locked
so
into
focused,
the game.
Yeah.
So I think that is a concern of ours. So we're going to try to monitor that as best we can, and
I just keep trying to sell.
Become a problem.
I just keep trying to sell Katie on the concept of the benefit of video games, right?
Yes.
Like I think Shoff and I've talked about this in the past, where it's like, they're puzzles, they're critical thinking, they're opportunities for you to take complex situations and make sense of them, all of these kind of things. So I think there's like a place for them, for somebody like him, especially who he's very artistic. He's very interested in those things. He loves like, there's a board game that he likes called, you take these little things and you put them together. It's like Tetris, Caboodle or something like that, I think is what it's called. And like he loves that kind of stuff. So it's like I know he would love certain games where it's like there's a story and there's like all this kind of stuff. And selfishly, like I think it'd be a great way for me to connect with him, in just a different way. Like we connect over soccer and other things, but like, connecting over video games, right? Like would be fun. And then selfishly for me, I'll get to play sometimes in my spare time. Like that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle game, I keep seeing it advertised. I'm like, holy shit, I got to go buy a console and go buy this game. I want it so bad. So
that
Santa,
game is like,
I want that game.
that
Santa
game,
Shoff. Make it happen.
Oh, you're
More
a
than-
ho ho ho.
I've
More than
been a
any
good
other-
boy.
more than, more than any other game, I think that is a perfect Kevin Coll game because of your love of movies, Indiana Jones, like that. The meshing of those two together, I think, is perfect. I've been playing it, and it's been on my mind. It's one of those games like when I stop playing, I'm thinking about it, and I think that is a really good one. And you brought up a lot of good points about the puzzle solving and the benefits of video games. We were playing actually just before we started recording. I had introduced Ezra to Sackboy, which probably not the best name for a video game, but it
Sounds like an
is-
insult. Yo, sack boy.
I introduced my son to my sack boy.
It's
Something
it's
a bully would call somebody in the 90s. Like, yo, sack boy, give me your lunch money.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a
Sure.
a character. It's actually a spin-off of Little Big Planet, which was a huge game on
Yeah.
on previous
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. Now this is on PlayStation 5, and the Sackboy is the character from Little Big Planet, and we were doing like a co-op where we were both playing, and we had to help each other. Okay, Ezra, you lift this, you turn this lever, then I can jump on here, and you can't complete the puzzle unless you have two people. So we were having a great time, and my wife came in and was like, "Is that Sackboy?" Because she loves Little Big Planet. That was one of the games that she loved, and she didn't know I had introduced him to it. She was like, "Is that Sackboy?" So we were having we had a great time before the podcast. But yeah, I think if your wife, if you can show her like a lot of the puzzle solving video games, and it's like any other medium, there's the GTAs, there's like the Grand Theft Autos, and there's certain games that you probably don't want him playing right now, but that's why they have the rating system. That's why you as a parent, you filter those things out and say, oh, okay, this is appropriate for my son. I think you would have a great time specifically. And even those college football games, like you could play together. There's actually a great podcast that I listen to where it's all about parents and video games, what video games are appropriate for children, and what frustrates a child, what makes them want to come back. And every child is different also, so it's not like a one size fits all, but it's just interesting listening to other parents talk about, oh yeah, my son didn't like the latest Mario Party because the way that Mario Party works, it's like you can, it's a co-op game where everybody's playing these little mini games, and there's winners and losers, and it's not too kind to like a specific type of play, and so younger children sometimes get left behind while the older ones are beating them.
I see.
And so the younger child get frustrated and, oh, I don't want to play this anymore. So
Oh, that would
there's-
be Christian. He got mad playing like a matching game the other day, like one of those card matching games
Oh,
where it's like
yeah,
you flip
right.
them over and it's like the blueberry, and then you flip another one over and you try to find the other blueberry. It's a memory game, you know. And I beat him, and he was like, "You cheated!" And he like threw the cards, and I'm like, "Jeez, what is this, like a 1850s western right now?" Like, you know, I got an ace up my
Flips the
sleeve,
table.
kid. Yeah, flipping the damn table.
Oh man.
Can only be solved with a duel at high noon.
Shoff, what's your take on this?
So, my definitely Sage is too young. So, like Sage has not had any experience with a video game controller, although she will pick them up. She sees them and she like is drawn to them. She has to hold on to them, especially the Joy-Con controllers. And so she'll take them right off the charging station. And I'll have to find them later because she'll put them wherever. You know, kids, like they do not put them back where they're supposed to go, right? So, but my ex, she was also a gamer growing up. She loves GoldenEye. She always had a Game Gear growing
What a
up.
great
Oh,
game.
man. Yes.
She had the
I had a Game
Nintendo.
Gear.
She actually knows
Yeah.
more Nintendo. She's played more NES games than I've ever played in my life. She
Oh, wow.
she owned a Game Gear. In fact, that was one of the first gifts I got her when we first started dating. Was her Game Gear had just gone kaput because they're old, right? And so I went and I found like a used, like game store, and I was able to get another Game Gear for her, and that was like a surprise. And of course, she like was playing Cool Spot, right away, and everything. And so she's got she's pro video games, but the right kind, right? Like, so it can't be violent or anything like that. And she knows I play, and whenever like I was playing, she would come in my office, she'd see what I was playing. If it was something like a PS5 game or whatever, she was always amazed at the graphic quality. She was always like really impressed with like all of that. As far as my daughters go, Emily, I've had her play the Bluey video game. She's tried that out and she liked it. She also really liked Super Mario Wonder. That was a good game. But she's just didn't quite pick it up, and she was starting to get kind of frustrated. She doesn't have very like her fuse is pretty short in that regard, so just had to be careful about that. She also gets really overstimulated very quickly, so when it comes to like watching TV or anything like that, we have to really be careful about what it is, and for how long she's doing it. So I'd love to revisit it with her and see how she does. I think like Minecraft would probably be a good game because it's so casual, open-ended, and you can choose to make it just creative. So there's no like enemies, there's no violence or of any kind, there's no combat. So
just Jack.
So yeah, so I would say like, what's that?
I said just Jack Black hanging out.
My name is Steve.
Steve.
But yeah, so I mean I'm totally down for it, and I think like with the right finesse and like being careful and being patient, I think it could be a lot of fun, and I look forward to those days.
So here's my plan. We have obviously tablets, iPads, that kind of stuff. I may download a couple games on there.
Yes.
Maybe test that out with him and the wife, see how that goes, and then we can evolve it from there.
Yeah.
I'm getting that Nintendo Switch though, and I'm gonna get that Indiana Jones Great Circle game. Good Lord, that looks awesome.
Well, that's only on Xbox.
Yes.
Well, I'm getting an Xbox then. Somebody send me an Xbox. Microsoft sponsor the show. Give us an Xbox.
I just downloaded it. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but I know Vactor's played it. And
it is I think it's going to be up there for my favorite games of this year. I only played the first chapter, like the first mission, and it is exactly, well, first of all, it starts off with the opening scene from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Like it's the complete first scene.
Like cut for cut. I've seen it online. Yeah.
So that right there.
With Alfred Molina?
Yeah. Well, it would have been great if they had gotten him. They unfortunately did not. There's like a sound alike. He actually appeared in this week's Skeleton Crew. Funnily enough, listening to his
was
voice,
that his voice as one of the characters? I kept saying that's got to be Alfred Molina's voice. I'm glad you confirmed that for me. Yeah, we're gonna talk. We got to talk about that when we get to the Skeleton Crew part of the show. But
that was a great that first opening sequence. Like it was a proof of concept for me, and you could see like the way that they digitally recreated Harrison Ford. It was like this almost looks real. The graphics are stunning. The puzzles so far are fun. They're stimulating, and Troy Baker is one of my favorite voice actors. He's doing Harrison Ford, and his Harrison Ford is fantastic. I actually got to meet him at Phoenix Comic-Con a couple years ago, and he's a really nice guy in person as well.
One quick story about Alfred Molina and Indiana Jones. This just happened to pop up my YouTube feed the other day, and I watched the interview. He was talking about the tarantulas scene in the opening, and like there was like 150 tarantulas all over him, and when they were shooting it, they wouldn't move. And Spielberg was like, "Why aren't they moving? They need to move." And the tarantula wrangler guy was like, "Well, they're all male, so they're not going to be aggressive unless you introduce a female." So he takes a female tarantula out of the box and puts it on Alfred Molina, and they just all start going nuts and stuff. And Spielberg goes, "Shoot, shoot, shoot! Get the cameras rolling!" Apparently, and Alfred Molina was like, "Okay with all this." I'm thinking, like, "Good Lord, I'd freak out about it."
Yeah, I'd be renegotiating my contract and get
there's another great tarantula story y'all should Google online. It's about Russell Crowe talking about a tarantula, that scene that he did in a movie, and like he basically molested him. And so he jokingly, at the end, he's like, I think I'm the only Oscar award winning actor that, got molested by a spider on camera. So,
Man.
like, all right,
Well,
good point.
let's actually talk about Skeleton Crew. We didn't specifically talk about it last week, did we? We didn't have a specific Skeleton Crew discussion. What are you guys thinking about this show so far? And what do you think about the children's kind of fatherly presence that they've had? We're only 3 episodes in, so it's not like we're super deep into it. But Shoff, what are you thinking so far about Skeleton Crew?
Well, I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a lot of fun. It really feels like Star Wars meets Goonies meets Stand By Me. It's got so many great little elements in there. But from like the perspective of as a dad, I can't help but analyze the character Wim, his dad. I think his name is Wendell or something like that. I'm not impressed. This guy is not a good dad. Like you can tell that he's very work focused, which I'm not saying that's a bad trait because, if you're clearly he's a single parent. And so like I can relate in that way, but it seems like he's very much so focused on his work and not enough on his son. And the only interactions he has with his son, he's kind of like barking orders at him, or it's in some form of, consequential, like punishment type conversation. And, just from the standpoint of looking at it as a father, I'm like, oh, I feel bad for Wim because it's no wonder that, he is the way he is and is curious and smart and and dreams of Jedi and things like that. Like, because his father is just not engaged with him.
Right.
And so I look forward, I hope.
Engage.
Thank you, John Luck Pickard. I hope that this show, this season, allows for an arc where by the end of the show, the dad changes his ways.
Yeah. I don't think I think there will be an arc for his dad. I don't think that they're just going to introduce him as a one note.
I hope so. Because right now I'm like, man, this is awesome.
There was a moment in the 3rd episode where like they finally cut back to the parents and they were like trying to solve the problem, and they did that kind of close up on him as he's kind of like, just soaking in what's like the realization that his kid, might be gone forever. And, that's a powerful moment because, he's probably having that dad moment of, I lost the time I had,
Yeah. He's like sitting down. Like, could you sit down?
No, I mean, no, God, no, I'd be tearing the wall. I'd be like, I'm going to see the supervisor now. You're gonna have to kill me, and
right, like I'd be figuring out some way off that planet right then and there. Like,
yeah, that robot would have died. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. It would have been a Han Solo shot first moment. But
I also got to say, I had 4 separate people tell me that Wim looked like my son.
100%.
He is my new favorite character in Star Wars, is Wim. So yeah, his dad treating him bad. I don't like this because now people maybe they're gonna think that I'm Wendell, his dad.
Can I just say though that Tunde Adebimpe, the actor that plays Wendell, has one of the most fantastic beards I've ever seen on a man. Like, no offense, Shoff, yours is immaculate, but that dude's got a great beard.
He does have a great beard, and the glasses thing, the whole thing works.
Oh, the frames. I mean, he's this year's Cosmo. This is it, folks.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I think this show has been really good as far as like an Amblin adventure style 80s, the thing that we grew up with as kids. I think this show is embodying all of that, and all of the choices that the parents are making is affecting the children. And I think that's interesting because if you look at something like The Acolyte, and I was actually talking about this on my Star Wars podcast, Trust in the Force. the Acolyte put mystery first and character second. I think Skeleton Crew is doing the opposite. They're putting character
That's
first
right.
and then mystery, all those things. The mysteries, we are finding them out with the characters instead of an Acolyte. We already knew the answers to most of the mysteries, and the characters were playing catch up to us, and it just didn't work like that. There's a scenario that can work in, but the way that the Acolyte was structured and the way that they presented it, it just did not work. The Skeleton Crew, it's exciting to be like, oh, what's going to happen? What is Atten? Who is Crimson Jack? Why is he, is he a Jedi? What was he just using those force powers? Like, what was going on? So there's all these questions that is propelling me to say, oh, I want to see the next episode. I want to see what's going to happen next. And then also, I think the answers to these mysteries are going to affect the characters. Like the everything is about character first in this show. That's why I think the way that it's structured and the way that they're presenting it is a huge contrast to the way that Acolyte was presented. So I'm actually excited about where this Skeleton Crew is going.
I'm glad you brought up Amblin, because when I go back in my head, in my heart, and I go and remember movies like E.T. and Jaws and Close Encounters and, even Jurassic Park, right? Like, these are all movies that in the ethos and the pantheon of movie making are spectacular achievements from a visual perspective, a special effects perspective. They push the boundaries of what filmmakers could do at that time. But at the core of all of those movies was the characters, right? Maybe that was by happy accident because of the technical limitations. It forced the story to have to be always number one and present. But whether that's true or not, I don't know. But like, the testament to a great film, especially ones with kids like The Goonies and E.T., is that when the adults aren't on screen, the kids own the movie and they own the moment and they own the scenes. And that's what you see with Skeleton Crew, is that it's like these kids are really owning the story. Like, I don't even care that Jude Law's there. You know what I mean? Like, he could be there or not, and it would still carry the same weight. He just makes it more interesting. Okay, who is this guy? What's his story? Like you said, is he just a force-sensitive pirate? Which, by the way, if that's all he is, I think that's a really interesting concept being introduced into the Star Wars universe. Because not to get off on this tangent, right? But like, forever and a day, we've had all these saga movies, and they all are these big operatic spans of points in time, where we're left having to fill in the gaps with all these other things. But the stories that have come up filling the gaps, like Rebels and Bad Batch and Mandalorian and Ahsoka, and now this Andor, I think are much better ways to explore Star Wars and the Star Wars universe than going and telling another big saga movie. Like, I'm actually okay if we just never have a saga movie ever again. There's so much meat in between the episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that can be told. And I think Skeleton Crew is great. And, in terms of looking at it as a parent perspective, what this movie has in common with all those other Amblin movies is that the parents end up realizing in the end, they do have a journey in the background. We don't ever really see it, but there's a journey that happens to them in the background because their kids reveal something to them that they didn't realize. And it's usually something about their kids, like, oh my God, you guys could do this. So I'm excited for Wendell to find out that he's got a pretty awesome kid. I'm excited for the mom. I forgot her name, but that she's got a pretty awesome kid too. And
Friday
Fern's
from
mom,
the MCU.
Burns' mom, yeah. But I'm loving Skeleton Crew. This to me feels like what the kind of stuff that we should be seeing in Star Wars right now. And I could see why the Acolyte failed miserably after now seeing 3 episodes of the show for the exact reasons you just outlined, Vactor.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think you were talking about how he could just be a force sensitive pirate. I hope that's the case too, because honestly, too many intellectual properties for Star Wars have proven that the Purge was not like super successful, right? There's always these outlier Jedi or Padawans that escaped the clutches of Palpatine's, clone army, right? Like, I would much rather it not be another Padawan that got away or another Jedi that, ducked out and stayed low and, like hid in the bushes, and avoided the purge. Like, I'd rather it just be somebody force sensitive, because that's what Star Wars needs to really like lean into more, is that people may have these abilities. They may not, they're just not honed, like their untapped potential. And I think like that to me is much cooler. And that's one thing that Rian Johnson did do well, I think, in Last Jedi, is the way he ends it. It ends it on
with
a kid,
the
boy who is force sensitive, and there's that potential of like, there could be like, he could be something, he could be somebody, if he has the right teacher, and I think that that's important to showcase that in the Star Wars universe. So
yeah, I don't want theory sabers coming after me when I say this, but I think if I remember correctly, in an interview that George Lucas did once, he basically said that everybody in the Star Wars galaxy has the Force within them. It's not like
it penetrates us.
Somebody has it, somebody doesn't, and it's I mean, the Force is what binds us, surrounds us, penetrates us. But my point is that some people have greater aspects of it, right? Midi-chlorian count, all those kind of things, and the Jedi go and pursue those people and recruit them and assimilate them and things like that, and then the Sith do whatever it is they do. But there's people out there that just maybe have certain abilities that they're not interested in the religion aspect of it. They just want to go live their life. And I think that's really fascinating to me. And the fact that you might have a guy who's selfish and wants to find treasure, and he's kind of a Jack Sparrow-y type guy. I think that's a really cool idea, and I'm so happy we're seeing that. And I'm also so happy we're seeing pirates in Star Wars. Like, I love space pirate movies and stuff like from the old. Again, like Star Wars was inspired by Kurosawa films and 1930s adventure serials and science fiction, right? And one core element of those things was space pirates. And so, anyway, very cool.
Yes.
Love the show.
I was wanting to talk about this Millennial Dads article that Shoff brought to us, but I think looking at our recording time, we're already at 44 minutes. So let's wrap this one up.
And you deleted it from our notes, Vactor.
Well, I'll just add it back later. We'll talk about that on the next episode of Dads to the Future. We'll be talking about the Millennial. Well, Shoff, give us a little preview. What is the article?
Yeah, preview this Millennial.
I was on Instagram. I was doom scrolling one night, and I came across an Instagram post, and it was on the account Wealth, the Wealth account. But it was information that they got from somewhere else. I forget the name of it, but that's not important. The important part is that they have found that Millennial dads are spending 3 times the amount of time with their children than those, say, like prior to the Millennial age range,
right,
were
like baby
as
boomers.
parents. So like Millennial dads are just far more invested. And I wanted to sort of like unpack that a little bit, because I don't want it to be like something where we're poo-pooing our fathers, right? Like,
no,
it's just it was a different time, right? Like, they could only see what their fathers, how they were behaving around their children, and use them as role models on either what to do or what not to do. And we do the same thing. We look at our fathers and we're like, okay, we want to take bits and pieces. I want to do this. Maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I want to change this. But Millennial dads are really the first group of dads who are truly spending an enormous amount of time with their kids, and it's changing work-life balance. The roles in the household are massively changing. It's not something where diapers are only one person. Like it's only that's all on the mom. It's all,
I'm not touching the diaper. It's all you.
I think I saw like the stat was something like it was like 3% of dads were changing diapers prior to the millennials. And now it's like 50 something percent or 60% of dads have changed a diaper. It's like awesome.
Yeah,
so
let's talk about that. Our
I can't wait. I
individual
can't wait to talk about
experiences
this.
on
yeah,
the
so that's
next
just like a
can't
little
wait. I
teaser. We're
cannot
gonna
wait.
let's definitely like dig in and unpack it on our next episode and really understand what it means to be a millennial dad.
Yes,
I'm in.
excellent.
Let's do it.
So we hope that you will join us on the next episode. We actually are going to be taking a little break next week from the recording, but we will be back the following week, right, boys?
That's right. Yeah. 26th, I think.
Yes. So we
The
will be
day
back,
after Christmas.
yeah, in 2
Boxing
weeks to tell you about our
Yeah.
Christmases and about being a millennial dad. So we'll talk all those things on the next episode of Dads to the Future. Don't forget, you can always join in the conversation, either if you're a dad or if you have a dad or if you have an experience that you want to share, leave it in the comments down below, whether it's here on YouTube, if you're watching the video, or in audio form on Spotify. You can actually leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking, and we will get back to you on a future episode of Dads to the Future. But for Shoff, Mr. Hot Frosty, and myself, Vactor, we will see you on the next episode. 88 miles per hour.
It's your kids, Marty. Something's gonna be done about your kids.
Great Scots!